You can wake up with a brand new product idea.
Okay, this could be our marketing strategy actually. Solve your problems even in a dream.
Shipping fast has proved its possibility of burning fast.
Why airports are called airports and not plane station?
We need to fix this. We either call it a PlayStation or the train station needs to become a rail port.
Even the first sales, I mean, that's all part of the journey.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, Dan.
How are you today? It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah, very true. We haven't done the show this week, and I forgot how to speak English. So I'm really looking forward for the next 2 hours.
Do you realize what? How many? Do you realize that since pretty much November last November, we've been doing this show 2 times a week, more or less every single week, and this is like the first week where we're like, okay, we wanted to do it Thursday, then we couldn't, then we said, okay, let's do it a Saturday one, then that didn't happen. And then finally today it's kind of we need to do it. I dropped everything. I cleared my schedule, I I had important things all gone. This is the most important thing.
This is the only thing we do today.
This
It
is
might be even longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, I think we just do it until Monday.
I
We
fully
keep
agree with you. And you know, it's I'm really looking forward to talk with you because it's so weird. As you said, since November we've been doing the show, and I never realized how many things can happen during the week because we do the show every Monday and Friday, and then whatever happens in between, it's very like there.
Yeah.
But now my head is full. I told Dan before we started the show, I have so much to tell you, and I just wanna talk with a friend, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Me too. I also think, yeah, when we did the Friday and Monday one, it was Friday evening and not a lot happened Saturday and Sunday. Like a
Mm.
lot of people rested. So then on Monday, it was still a lot to talk about. But now it feels like there's so much we can't even cover it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's why it's 2+ hours now.
Yeah. So, should we talk about your week? What have you been doing this week?
So yeah, like first of all, my life in the past 3 weeks has been a little bit like different than per usual, than per like cold, dark Finland, snowy. You go to work, you go to training, you come home, you eat dinner. But then in the past 2 weeks, oh, I feel like I'm on therapy. This is so wonderful. In the
What's
past 2 weeks,
bothering? Tell me, please. What's been bothering you? Tell me all you
you know
have
what's
on your
bothering me?
chest. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I've realized that we are in a rush. It's like we are all the time chasing something. I'm saying we because it's just much easier for me to express myself like that. But I, at least, I keep chasing something. When I work hard and you work and you work and you work, and then you need to make this happen and you need to make this happen and blah, blah, blah. So now when I went back home, I totally saw like my family and friends and nature. And somehow I was like questioning my life choices.
So, does that mean that it's better to be more balanced when you do this, or what's the? So, did you have time to process this? What did you get to a conclusion, or is it just an observation stage right now?
It's observation, but I want to make a conclusion of this. I think um, I think that doing the work, like in my case, it's like morning maker show and it's Clue and whatever happens in between. But I feel like we are missing this aspect of like nature and family and friends and socializing, and it's been really hard kind of like to say no to things like that, because in Finland it doesn't come that naturally. In Finland I have my own flow and my days revolve around work. I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
And the days are so short up there. And somehow here I manage to, I don't know, you manage to work, but you don't work in the same amount as back home, like in Finland, but you still have time to socialize and see your friends and see your family. And that got me thinking, like, are we doing the right thing? Are we approaching the life correctly? Is this
Yeah, I
too
see.
much? Is it
Yeah,
too much? I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, I see what you mean. Well, it's very important, that's for sure. And I think sometimes we just do just one more hour, just one more
Mm,
hour of
mm.
work, and then we get carried away, and then it's 5 months later, and we have no idea where our friends are. Do we even
Yes.
have friends? What's been going because we're so involved in this, and we want it so bad. We want it to work so bad. So we put
Yeah.
everything we have in it, and everything else is sort of in the back seat. On
Yeah.
one hand, on the other hand, we have people like Nico Janin, right? That
Yeah.
locked himself in a hotel room for a month, I think, to build his product, and he didn't get out until he got the product, and that was like hard 24/7 work and focus. Like that's completely opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary. I think it depends on how social you are usually. Like some people really, I think you're a very social person. Some people really can't take this being in front of the computer all day and not having contact with other people. Is that true for you?
Yeah, I manage, but the issue is like my social aspect of me in the past few years have been coming from work. And that means that all the people that I'm very social and talk on a daily basis are people that are somehow related to work, not essentially to Clue or Morning Maker Show, but they are in the same circle. So the conversation, it's very kind of like similar, you know.
Yeah.
And I got in the past 2 weeks, I got kind of out of that small bubble, and
Hmm.
I was like, oh, wait a minute, like, are we doing the right thing? And then there is nothing else I would do in the world. Like I would never, I love my job and I love what we are creating, and I just feel like we need somehow to find the right balance, because it's very hard to give everything to work, and then it I freaked out because I realized how time flies quickly for me in Finland compared to my situation right now, where I work in the morning. I don't know, I go to my aunt to have lunch, I come back home, I work, I see friends, I go to nature and all of these things. And it's the same amount of time I have in Finland, but somehow I use it totally differently.
Yeah.
So
This gets me thinking. So yeah, of course that's true, and you need to take a step back to realize it. But I still go back to the point where it depends on what type of person you are, because I also know there are people that do 9 months of intense work, then disappear for 3 months, and then it's friends time, traveling time, having fun
mm,
time, and that works for them as well.
yeah.
So if you need a weekly kind of step back from this craziness and a social aspect that's outside of work, because that's the other thing, is that social aspect outside of the work is very difficult for us now because we're so involved in these projects that we don't know
Mm.
how to talk about anything else. Do you get that? And you try
Oh
to, and
boy.
no one cares really. No one understands AI. What? Like, I don't care. I never heard about this. Do you get this thing?
Oh, I had Easter now this past weekend. My father came, his whole family. So we had a lunch. There was my sister, she's the same age as me. No one talked, or at least I had nothing to say.
Yeah.
And also that was kind of a little bit problematic because the whole conversation I had in my head was, even the approach, even if like we had a subject about the banks, and they were commenting how banks are operating these days, and I was like, wait a minute, I have no idea where my credit card even is. Did I bring my credit card to Bosnia? And you know what's funny, then I actually didn't. I
So
left
wait.
my credit card. I have it on my phone, like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
okay, like that, like that. Yeah, got it, got it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
in that moment, it was totally different. They were commenting about like economically and perspective in the world with the banks and blah blah blah. And we are like a little, our brains are just functioning differently. I'm not saying that we are right or wrong or they are wrong or whatever. It's just like it's totally different.
You're not, yeah, not on the same level anymore. But okay, so is that because you're so far away? Because you've been in Bosnia. Is it because also being in Finland is different, that there are other topics, or is it just the tech aspect and work that makes you so far from,
It's
I
it's
wouldn't.
tech aspect and work, I think so. I
Okay,
think we are
yeah.
doing not many things. Even when you are reading, these are type of the things. There's outside, like if you think about work and when you are focusing on work, there are certain situations that you do that are kind of outside of work. So either you read a book or you listen to music or you listen to podcast. And in my case, all of these three things are somehow always related to work. Let me read something that I could probably implement to work. Let me listen to something that I could, learn and just do it and etc.
Hmm.
So what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say in this past 16 minutes is that I wish that we are able to go a little bit outside of work and have life.
Yeah.
And I think it would be healthier for us. I don't know. You know,
That's yeah. Why do you think it's healthier? Is it because we get to put too much pressure on ourselves, and then we stress ourselves out without having
yeah,
a good reason? Yeah.
yeah. I think sometimes we forget how little our stress is. I have like this week I'm going through this 100 people 2 weeks challenge where I try to talk with people on a daily basis and understand how Clue works, and I was so stressing about that. Like I
What
was
is it?
so stressing.
Explain it to me. So, what is the goal? Is it to get 100 users in a week?
No, no. The goal is for me because we launched Mac app, which is totally different from the web, and the approach to figuring out how people are using web compared to Mac, and the goal is to understand, do we even need web app,
Yeah.
and how people are using Mac and when they are using and when they are searching, and this I wanna dig deeper in how much time will take for people to adjust for the
Hmm.
search.
Yeah.
So I took these 2 weeks to understand really what's happening, and I was stressing so much about it. I was stressing about the feedback, how I'm gonna figure out like feedback, where they're gonna write me the feedback, how I'm gonna reach out to these people. Am I annoying? And I don't have a problem with being annoying. It's just this stress that you have, and then you realize, wait a minute, like it's not that big of a deal. It's your work. But in my head, it was in my stomach, it was in my head, it's
Yeah.
like boiling. And then I don't know, it's just these small things.
I think yeah. That's one thing that is hard to learn, but once you overcome it, I haven't. Work becomes a lot more pleasurable. I think we have
Mm,
we have Ely, hi Ely, in the chat, and he showed us how he sends emails for backlinks. And besides the incredible SEO course that he offered, it just
mm.
dawned on me that I take this way too seriously. Like I can't just send an email in a few minutes. I overthink it. I
Yeah.
start, I'm like shaking by the end of it because it's, oh my God, I'm sending an email to a person. It has to be good. It has to be this. It has to be that. And you end up writing this really long one as well. That kind of is hard to understand. And he just did it in a minute while talking to us and sent it.
And he
And
did
that
like
level,
7 of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't even know. Yeah, and that level of casualness comes with experience. If you send 5,000 of these emails and there's just another one, and you see that nothing bad happens. But that's my question to you. You've sent many emails and reached out to many people.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, why
yeah.
do you think you haven't gotten past this fear that I don't know what's gonna happen? You're gonna be annoying, for example.
For me, it's not the fear of doing the action, but it's the fear or the stress of what's going to come from that action. If maybe I should explain a little bit. So let's say that I'm doing this 2 weeks challenge and I don't have a problem with like reaching to people. But my problem or my stress is that if I spend these 2 weeks, will I be able to reach that goal that I set up? Will I
Yeah.
figure these things out? Will I do the proper job in figuring these things out?
Yeah. So you're,
Because,
but is that
yeah,
afraid of failing then, or how should I understand it?
probably,
Yeah.
probably, because I can't take those 2 weeks back. I can't rewind them, and you only have this time. And I mean, that how much, like, if you lose 2 weeks or a week in something and you didn't actually do anything, I mean, it's scary.
Yeah. Got it. So I get that, and no launch that I've done, and I've done many by now, has been relaxed. As in, you always fear, what if people don't like it? Like the same with Page UI that I launched. Was it last week?
Mm.
This is crazy. It feels like 5 months ago. And I put it was an open source project. So I
Mm.
was completely terrified because everyone could see the smallest detail, like go
Mm.
in and see through my, lack of skill or whatever. And I think no matter how much work you do, you still have, they call it in the programming world, the imposter syndrome, right? But it's
Yeah.
in tech in general, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just thought this is gonna fail. I didn't put enough time in it, and because of
Mm.
that, I also thought maybe it's not ready to launch. And
Mm.
but the whole story. Then I cut from it, and then I got very close to the deadline, and then I thought, okay, this is not gonna happen. But maybe if I cut these
Mm.
other things and I get just one thing to work, I can still launch it. And I did, and it went
Mm.
fantastic, and it
Mm.
got like more than 400 stars on GitHub, which it's pretty big. I
Mm.
have maybe another project that got more than that, but I have another one that I've worked for 3 years on and has 100 stars. Right? It's not a good measure, but it was to some extent very successful. But I feared this launch like nothing
Mm.
else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We do tend to put the pressure on ourselves. I think you know, I love to be surrounded by people that understand how important things they are doing are, or like are excited about it. So that type of fear or stress when I see in another person, especially in you, it's a little bit motivated and optimistic for me.
Yeah,
But in the same time, I wish somehow that we are able to do the things without this amount of pressure we put on ourselves.
sure. Sure,
So
yeah,
maybe
that's
we need,
reassuring.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because you
and I,
see, everyone has this, no matter how far they are. Like, I think
yeah,
even when Mark Louvion puts something, he still thinks. Did you see this chat? I don't know if it was like a secret thing or whatever, but there was this chat where he was messaging Dan Kulkov, I think, and saying, I have this stupid project idea called Ship Fast. I think it's gonna completely fail, but I'm gonna launch it anyway. And this just blows your mind. And as you say, this gives you confidence rather than
mm, yeah,
demotivated. It makes you think, okay, we're all in it. We're all going through the same thing, no matter where we are.
oh, for sure, for sure. And if you take, yeah, and if you take Mark as an, he's not Mark. Is he Mark?
He's
He
a
is
mark.
Mark. Mark.
Yes.
But if you take, I feel like sometimes he even has a bigger pressure of success than we have.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just wrong thinking. I don't know, but he kind of positioned himself now where each project has to kind of blow people's minds, and it's even scarier. That's even scarier.
Yeah, yeah. You cannot. Well, not to blow their minds, but to be somewhat successful in the sense that it should make sales. So if
Yeah,
if he puts a product out now that makes zero sales, that would be horrible because his whole brand is do something fast, make
yeah,
some money,
yeah,
figure out if it's worth putting more time, and then move to the next one and the next one and the next one until you hit
yeah,
one that works. So,
yeah,
but then again, he doesn't have to. Like, he could just work on one project. So I admire that thing. I think after he did Ship Fast, he launched the pop up thing soon after, which was, I guess, somewhat successful, and he kind of kept going, which is awesome. It's a question. and a question that I ask myself often: once you find a project that works, does it even make sense to do other projects or just double down on that one? Try to
Yeah.
get it to more people because you've worked so hard to find it. Why you keep doing this? It's just a habit now that you do a product every month. So
Yeah. Yeah. Whew, we had some tough topics, huh? It's
yeah.
really lovely to talk with you, Dan. I miss this.
I miss this too. It's such a shame. But
Oh,
I think going forward,
yeah.
we're gonna do one longer episode. I really like that we
Mm,
have more accumulated throughout the week, and maybe we do like
yeah.
a 1 hour every Saturday. But that being said, we have a bunch of updates from this week.
Yes.
What's from
Let's do
today?
that.
Do you want to take the first one by John?
Yeah. Yeah. John Rush. It happened. In 1 year, we walked the circle. Idea, validate, build, grow, monetize. Oh my God, this is a big number. Is this 200,000 visits? 10,000
200,000.
users?
Yes, yes.
Not stopping here. I want to grow it to millions, and I know how. The story: in May 2023, I tweeted the Dev Hunt idea, asking for 100 likes as validation, having just a few followers. It got exactly 100 likes, so I had no choice but to keep my word. In June, I recruited contributors to build it as an open source. In August, we launched, invested in hiring a person to make launch videos and run social media. September won number one product of the day on Product Hunt. December rejected an investment from a VC to stay free and independent. They
Ooh.
said we have, yeah, it's very interesting post. They said we have growth signs and the community loves to beat Product Hunt and we should go generic. I said we will stay as we started for developers and open source. In May 2024, I launched paid option for sponsors and got way more interest and sales than I expected. Thank you, sponsors. In the future, continue our journey to be the best place on the internet to launch and discover dev tools and open source projects. I believe we are doing a good thing. We help great tools to be discovered by developers. Share Dev Hunt with our developer friends. Make an account there. Vote for the best tools. All money we make from Dev Hunt sponsors will be spent on growing Dev Hunt. No profit's going to be taken out. Oh,
A lot to unpack here. Let's take the first thing, which is congratulations, John and
yeah,
team. I think it's City that's working on this, where I've seen that on
yeah.
GitHub. 10,000 users. It's a very good number for such a competitive space. We've
Hmm.
seen what, two, three, four more.
I
I
mean,
don't
we,
even know how many of these similar
yeah.
things, and I think this one is the most successful by far so far.
Mm,
That is directly competing with Product Hunt because there are also others that don't claim to do that.
yeah.
So, what do you think about declining investment for this project?
I think John kind of approached this project very well. He knew what he wants and he figured out where to build and with who this product. It seems like I would really wish to know because he's talking about the investment in December. So they rejected an investment from a VC in December, but the sponsorship started in May.
Yeah.
So this
Well,
is a big thing.
he clearly hasn't made a lot of revenue
Yeah,
since, well, basically for the first, almost for the first year, right? And
yeah,
now he started to monetize it, which is maybe fine. If you get an investor that early, you probably cannot really fulfill your vision, or if it's not the right investment, you can
yeah.
derail the vision. And I probably would have done the same. But it's very tempting when you don't have
Oh,
revenue
yeah.
yet, and someone comes and says, "Hey, we can actually bring some capital, and then you can be a little bit more relaxed working on this, and have people." He's paying at least one person, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
entirely sure. I think so. With open source, there is some payment sometimes, but there are also people that do it for free, which is, I think, open source is underutilized in the indie community. It's
mm,
if you have the right product and there are quite a few, you can actually make a good amount and get contributions from it. And the way you do that is you either do open core, which is basically you give away the most important part and people can spend some time to set it up, or you have like a self-hosted version, which also takes some time, or use their service that it's typical SaaS, and then you don't have to host anything, and
Mm.
it's a lot faster to get started. This one is a bit interesting because Product Hunt itself has some transparency issues, and I think
Mm.
it's awesome to make a platform that is completely open as by design. So
Mm.
it's transparent from the bottom up, so to say.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like I remember, can you hear me? I'm just in fear
Yes,
that the
yes,
internet.
yes.
Okay, good, good. But I remember when John actually started this story, and I don't think it changed. Like the idea and the vision from the beginning has been in place. So when I read that he rejected an investment, and it seems like John is coming from that world, so he probably has a good knowledge of what does actually mean taking an investment and how how good it can be in some cases, but in other cases, if you are not 100% on the ground with the project you are building, it might go in a different direction, and then you lose the touch of what was the beginning of the story, or what product you actually wanted to build. So when you said it's very tempting, I fully agree with you, and saying no to these things can be extremely, extremely hard. So I wish John all the best, and I wish to see more and more projects being pushed to do Dev Hunt and seeing them grow and
Yeah,
going into millions,
same.
because it's super exciting to see. Like as I said, I remember when he started this idea and pushed this project, and now seeing this grow,
Yeah.
um, it's really nice. It's brilliant.
I think there's one, if there's some feedback I can give. I put
Mm,
Page UI on Dev Hunt last week, and I think
mm,
my launch is scheduled for September or something like that. By the time, I am not even sure how this project is going to look. It might be completely different. It might be pivoted, and it kind of looks like they might have enough products to do a smaller cycle. So the current cycle is 1 week where people can upvote, and then after the week, they pick a winner, and
mm,
maybe it's time to shorten that. I'm not entirely
mm.
sure why you would do 1 week versus 1 day unless you just don't have enough products, right? And then you keep it
Yeah.
and you keep it longer. But if you want to keep this vision of being a competitor to Product Hunt, I think one good thing about Product Hunt is that you can plan this well, and then you can have it as part of your marketing strategy. But if your Dev Hunt launches in September, you cannot wait until September to launch something.
Mm,
So it's gonna be
mm.
like a secondary launch. Then it's just gonna, okay, it will
It's there.
happen, but we're already past that moment, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. 7 days does seem a little bit long, or at least what we are used to seeing on Product Hunt, and having that 24-hour marathon. Because how many times do you want to go and check on which place you are during the week? So maybe John can actually kind of like, or test it at least,
Yeah,
have few products that are running on a shorter period, and then have a bigger scale products. I don't
yeah,
know, but it's a very
yeah.
good point.
All right. Let's move on to the next update if you want to read it. This is
Yes.
like a fairly recent one from this morning. I saw it's getting a little bit viral, and I would
Oh,
really like to discuss it with you.
yeah, Dan. Jean-Jo. J-
Perfect.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm launching my new project on Product Hunt. Marvin is the browser extension to autofill the Stripe test card payment info. Would love your support. Marvin is the browser extension to autofill the Stripe's test card payment info. Interesting.
Yeah, so they're currently number one on Product Hunt. Oh, then upvote. Um, it's quite cool that this is getting so much praise because what Tuanjo is probably wrong what I'm saying here, but what he's done is identify a problem, a pain point, make a simple solution for it, and ship it as a product. And everyone's saying essentially we overthink the products that we build. Like it doesn't have to be that complicated. And apparently people really like the solution that he really found an annoying simple problem that no one else has solved. Now, one of the issues with this is it's very hard to build a moat because, well, you can be the first one and that helps, but it's very easy to copy the solution. And also,
Mm,
I believe there are ways to do it, just in Chrome as it is. But it's going very crazy, this idea. And I think even if it does, it's not going to be like a long term product. I don't think.
mm.
Even so, it's a lot of press, right? For
It's
for
still
him, and it's
fun.
getting a lot
It's
of
still fun.
attention. Like we have, yeah, look, we have Mark Liu said that he
Yeah.
bought it, for example. What's here? Yeah, Dan Kulkov said, yeah. Anyway, what do you think about this? And what do you think about small products that solve a specific problem and that's it? They're basically complete.
I love it. I mean, as you said, there's two types of the.
Oh no, oh
Um,
no.
one more
I
time.
lost you
Can
for a
you hear me?
second. Can you can you say it again?
Can you hear me? All good? We're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
back?
It's good. It's good. It's good. Panic avoided.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's not panic. Let's chill and do this. um, all good. Okay. I love idea of finding a small product problem and then building a product. As you said, this might not last. Many people could copy it, but I think if we did pronounce the name correctly, Joanjo um, had a really nice run, or is having a really nice run. So whatever he does the next, maybe I think it's gonna work. So I love the idea of just figuring out a small problem and then building the solution for it.
Right, right. Because we talked about the two ways of building in public, and one is having this vision for like a grand vision for one thing that you hammer at for years, or shipping these small ones where what happens is the products they matter, right? They make some money and you use them to grow your audience instead and create
Mm.
this brand that you're making a lot of cool small products and you're making a little bit of money out of it. And then if you do this for long enough, eventually you might hit on a product that
Exactly.
is a long-term success instead of a smaller one. So they each amount into your brand, and doing that for a while, it could be very successful. So I love this.
Me too. And just to talk about like simple solution, and this is quite big project and big. I mean, project. It's not a project anymore. I believe it's a company at this point.
Yeah,
But we all use. I mean, how, the studio thing, the video studio, the thingy. How it's called?
Riverside Screen Studio.
Screen studio. Yeah. So there's multiple things you can do to record your screen. But what Screen Studio does really well is just that simple zoom. And it's such a simple feature, such a simple solution, and everyone loves it. And you can easily recognize whenever someone used the Screen Studio.
Oh yeah, but the genius part about it is that it looks kind. So this effect that the whole mode is this zoom in effect that's kind of smooth or like mouse
Mm.
following effect.
Mm-hmm.
And when people see a video, they always ask, "How'd you do that?"
Mm.
And they get an incredible amount of free marketing from all the users that essentially say,
Yeah,
"Well, I just use Screen Studio." And the
I had
more they have success with the videos, the more free marketing they get. It's genius.
yeah because I had Anytime I use Screen Studio and I talk about Clue and I want to show the feature, I always get the comments, "Excuse me, Sandra, what did you use to record this video?" And I'm like, come on, we are talking about Clue here. It's my moment, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and you end up actually promoting a different product in that
Exactly,
tweet.
exactly. Isn't that beautiful marketing? How can we build something like
I
that?
really appreciate
Gorgeous.
that. And I think the crazy part is that he's still selling lifetime deals, as far as I can tell.
Mm,
And I don't know how much it costs. Let me just go. I think it's Screen.studio, right? Yeah, so
yeah.
Screen.studio costs $89 for one device. Pay once and you get 1 year of updates. I think that's new actually. I think that's new. I think initially the license was lifetime.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this hybrid model. I can't agree with it, to be honest. I think you either you either want the lifetime deal or you want the subscription, and this in between one, I always didn't like it because it's unclear what you get and what you don't get. What will happen in that year? Well, are they actively
Exactly.
development? Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of it. But that being said, on Shipixon, I kind of do the same. So I'll just hand it over to you.
But just to be clear, I mean, when I see this pricing, the only thing that would make me pay this in between 189 is 3 Mac devices. I
Yeah,
wouldn't even think about the feature part.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, the point was Screen Studio because they have created this
Yeah.
marketing machine based on the
Mm,
output of the product.
exactly.
They
Oh,
can
you
have.
said that. We need
Yeah,
that on the shirt. We need that on the
we need
shirt.
it on the shirt. Okay. Well, we
Yes,
have Matthias in the audience. Matthias, please get the shirt ready. We have.
and put it in the comments immediately.
Yeah, put it in the comments. We have the credit card ready. Let's go.
Hmm.
So
Did you
yeah,
install that Chrome extension?
yeah. And I think the crazy part is when I got it, I think I paid. So they started with $39, I think, for a lifetime deal. I think that's what I paid anyway, which is
Mm,
ridiculous. And there is no way that long time, because I use this quite often, there's no
yeah,
way they'll make money off of me right now. But since they have such a high volume, it's probably okay. Like they don't need to go on a subscription. And I think just the updates that I've done probably cost that much because whenever you download the thing, like it costs some money, and I always like update to the latest version, and I pretty much use this every day. Like I'm probably a power user by now, so paying
mm,
$39 seemed like a steal. So then I'm also very happy to recommend it because of that.
exactly, exactly. I mean, I still don't understand. But maybe I'm just, me and my subscription model thinking. But I definitely would see the case where the subscription model would work perfectly for this.
Yeah,
And it's very
it's a
brave
bit.
for them to have this pricing model.
It is, yeah, it is, and it just goes. I think they're making a lot of money and growing, and
Good, good
have a
for
few
them. Good for
people
them.
working on it now. Yeah. Um, this reminds me of Sketch versus Figma, and Sketch had the same model, 1 year of updates, and they got completely crushed by Figma. Like it's not even a competition anymore. I'm not sure if they're struggling financially or what, but Sketch used to be the default Mac design tool,
Oh,
and I actually got very annoyed by this yearly thing because you would get a sketch file from a newer version and then they would say, "Oh, you can't open it," or some, UX paper cuts like this. And as soon as Figma came out, first of all, they just had the browser app, which means I could use it on Windows and Mac too, which also reminds me of Screen Studio. Um, and
interesting.
then the subscription part, I didn't care because overall I got the better product and I didn't have this headache of and the stress of, okay, it's going to expire, what am I going to do in the year, is it going to cost as much in a year as well, right? Because the prices
Exactly.
kept
Yeah.
changing. Yeah, so it looks very similar. Like if a Screen Studio competitor comes out right now that has cross-platform support and is just as good, and they have a subscription model, I think I can make a parallel between Figma and Sketch and Screen Studio and a competitor. It's maybe not that easy to make though.
Mm,
Like it
yeah,
clearly they have a technical advantage right now.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
All
Good
right.
product, good product, good product.
I have an update from someone you might have heard about.
Oh,
Is
I
this
don't know this
guy?
guy.
Yeah, he's called Levels.io.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I think he's built 1 or 2 hundred products. And he's saying, I got Llama 3 running in my browser using only my GPU with my Wi Fi switched off. Completely client side. Web GPU is a new feature in browsers where JavaScript can use the GPU of the device, and apparently you can run LLMs on it too, and it's really fast. My end goal is for Therapist AI, I need this, is to run client side 100%. You're my Therapist AI.
I know.
All right, run client side 100% private conversation where nothing gets sent to, processed, or stored in the cloud. So, besides the idea of a therapist AI, which was like a huge drama and people didn't take this very well, and I think that's kind of Peter's thing is for better or for worse, he's trying something, no matter how ridiculous it is, and he's gonna be the one trying that thing. And a lot of times having some success, but also the success could come from the debate around the product, right?
Mm, mm,
But this thing about running an LLM locally is sort of gonna unlock a new wave of applications where it's exactly this point. Everything is private all of a sudden.
mm.
So if you can personalize it enough, or maybe the type of application doesn't need personalization, first of all, you don't pay OpenAI or Microsoft or Google or whoever. It's all like the user pays with their computer if you want, which is brilliant. So you have zero cost and you have the privacy aspect, which has been a huge debate everywhere. People posting confidential stuff from their work in ChatGPT, and then
Whoop.
you know the topic. So yeah, what
Yeah,
do you think?
it's interesting. I fully agree. I mean, we've implemented AI as well in Clue, and that's one of the biggest questions we get: how we are dealing with security and the privacy. And something that has come up multiple times is like, can we store this locally or run this locally? And I fully understand why. So I get the point, and I'm really interesting to see. And I also like what you said, that he does these things first one and get the conversation ongoing. And I think sometimes we are really scared of this approach, but for him it does work brilliantly. I just remembered the guy, I didn't know at the beginning who you are talking about, but now I
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, you, of course, yeah. He's new to you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's something to that. So that's the thing. You have to respect the fact that he is trying crazy things. He's
Yeah.
putting crazy things out there, and there's some things we can all learn. I mean, there is a reason why he got so successful. And I think this is one of them. And then the other one is like what I think is cool about this update is that he's always trying the new stuff. Like this is pretty much cutting edge. There are some other people trying this. I don't think in the browser. I saw the iOS version of
Mm.
local LMs running. Browser is also very cool because the browser distribution model, in my opinion, is a lot better for indie makers because you don't have the approval process, you don't have the build process. Like I really think once you get it ironed out, maybe it's okay, and you kind of have your own flow. But I've spent so much time with certificates and with
Mm.
signing and all of that junk to get an app on the App Store. And at that point, I only wish, can I just publish this on the web? Like which is I don't need anyone to review my thing. I don't need anyone to take 30%
Yeah.
of my revenue, you know? Yeah. So that's also my mini rant with mobile apps right now.
So we like him, huh? He's good
Yeah.
to go. He's good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, well, let's not get into the Europe stuff.
Good project. Good project.
Hey, I have a small one for you. Why are airports called airports and not plane stations?
Oh my God. Why airports are called airports and not plane station?
Yeah. I actually have I actually have a suggestion. You know, I think there are two ways. So a harbor is also called a port. Do you call it a port? Like you got like
Yeah,
in
I
yeah, you
call it
do,
port.
right? So
Yeah.
we need to fix this. We either call it a PlayStation or the train station needs to become a rail port. Like either of those either of those would fix it for me. But now it's all broken. Now I can't I mean it's so
You know,
inconsistent. My programmer brain is broken.
this is so problematic when you get used to something and then someone breaks down the idea of what you thought you knew.
Yeah.
And now you made me question everything, and this is not fair.
Oh
Eh,
yeah, no, your world's upside down. Yeah. Can you even fly? Well, you didn't like flying anyway, so this
yeah,
just
yeah, I'm fine with ports.
yeah. Can you remind me why don't you like flying? I keep forgetting.
I had a accident. I had
Okay,
a
and you
flight
wait a
accident.
second. Plane accident, and you're just saying like
Yeah, yeah,
people don't
yeah. I had
usually live to tell the story of a plane accident.
dun, 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 you the lucky ones. I survived. We actually end up on the TV and the news and papers and everything. It was like a huge, huge deal. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, of course.
By the way, before this, I never had a flight fear of flying. And I was flying from like Berlin back home, and the flight was already late. It was like storm and things like that, and it was during the summer. And I don't know if you know this, but fun fact: most of planes actually go down during the summer. Just so you know,
What do you mean go
uh,
down?
crash. They crash.
Oh, all right.
Um,
You keep going.
and and we were flying, and just about before we should land, like I already felt that like the plane is losing the altitude.
Altitude. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we are going down a little bit, and I could see the city lights, and I can see the runway, and like everything is cool, and I'm chill, and I'm sitting next to the wings, and then in one moment the freaking storm, the lightning hits the plane.
Oh no.
Yes, and in
So
that
you
moment
like
you can
you just saw it like right like 1 meter from you, basically, or what?
it well, I didn't see the lightning going into the plane, but it hit the plane. So
Oh,
I
got it,
felt
got it.
it. And then
Yeah.
inside of the plane,
Wait, what do you mean you felt it?
like it shaked you. Like it
Oh, yeah,
wasn't, it was
okay.
like you could like I didn't know it was lightning at that point, but I thought in the moment that the wind, not
Yeah,
wind, wing
yeah,
fall down. It felt like that. It felt like the
yeah,
wing
yeah,
went down.
yeah.
And then in 1 second, all the lights in the plane kind of like went like there was this scary sound,
Oh my
and
God,
then
that's
there was
horrible.
it's really bad. And then I was really panicking, like really, really panicking because I really like my life. I like living. And then there was this lady next
So,
to me.
to put it lightly, I enjoy
Yeah.
living.
And I freaked out. It was the scariest shit ever. And then in that moment, I could feel the engine going like really, really strong because you know when you're losing the altitude and you're going down, you don't feel the engine as much. And then in that moment, it was like woo, and we went to. I thought it was heaven, or I hope I will go to heaven, but it felt like I'm going directly to heaven or something. And then I freaked out so much. And then there was this lady next to me, and she was like super annoying because she was so calm and I couldn't understand what's her issue. Like, can't she see that we are dying?
She had
And
good
she
life
was like,
insurance or what?
It was so bad. And then in one moment she told me, "Girl, you need to go to church." And I wanted to like kill her immediately. It was so bad. Since then I need to be drugged or drunk in the plane to get in. It's been bad.
Yeah. So you didn't take her advice?
Well, I won't know. I mean, then I cannot imagine. Like in my head, I wanted to jump on her. I wanted
Yeah.
like it was so annoying. And listen
Yeah.
to this. And then because we were flying back home, we at that point it was like I don't know, maybe like 1 a.m. or midnight or something like that. We flew from Bosnia to Romania,
Yeah.
and that's like I don't know how many kilometers. And the
Yeah.
plane was flying so fast because we were losing fuel.
Oh my God.
Like it
Why
was a
didn't you
dangerous
just land?
situation.
Like, why didn't you just land at that point?
I don't know. So I tend to fly with very cheap, low budget agencies.
So they had to make they had to make the spreadsheet work. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so they can't land just. Maybe they can legally, but they thought it's cheaper for them to land in freaking Romania.
That is horrible. That is
And
horrible.
one
And
more
wait,
thing.
wait, wait, wait. Can I
Yeah,
just I think I know the answer. Did you stop flying the cheap airplanes after this event?
of course not.
Okay. That's
You know how cheap I am. I cannot
yeah, I know, I know.
do
Yeah.
that shit.
Probably went even cheaper, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm happy that you made it out to tell us the story.
yeah.
Um, right now it wouldn't be such a problem. Like as I told you, it's very easy to get the AI to be trained. We have 42 episodes under our belt. Like I think the AI would be like perfect right now. It would capture you very well. So don't worry. Next time when you go on the play, think about this. Yeah.
I'm on the plane on Tuesday, so make sure to prep that AI.
Oh, we can train it anytime. We have all the episodes on YouTube. It's fine. Like just tell
I
me, or yeah, we can't. You can't tell me if it crashes, but okay.
Yeah, you will know. You will know.
Oh boy, that's a bad joke. No, I'd
Uh,
rather have you as my co-host. Thank you.
no,
But
I told
speaking
you.
about,
Oh,
yeah,
just quickly, I told you. You can continue with the show. You need to make our sponsors happy. Um,
yeah,
we have signed the deals, but you cannot invite anyone in a human form to perform this show with you. I will
not even
hunt
a
you
guest.
from up there. I will be the ghost.
Yeah, got it, got it. It's a deal. I can
We
I
have a
can
deal.
go with this deal. All right. Well, speaking about sponsors, I think it's time to mention Sentry, our newest sponsor. They've been freaking amazing on my projects, and yeah, I told everyone this is crazy that I like something, and then this is the story with all of our sponsors. Then we say this is a cool product. Look what I solved with it, and then they get back and say, "Hey, do you want to collaborate or something?" Or
Mm.
let's just keep in touch. And they're so nice. They're so amazing. I got into the performance stuff in Sentry, and they have this cool thing. I'm gonna tweet about it. They have this cool thing where you can see how much misery the user is experiencing. I just love this. And listen, Sandra, I opened this up and actually didn't know. Like the installation was so quick that I didn't know what it's tracking. I only cared about errors, but it's also tracking screen recordings. So you can
Yeah.
actually see when an error happens, what the people did in the UI, but also this performance stuff. So I went in the performance stuff, and apparently it's been tracking since the beginning. And guess which page has the most misery out of all of my pages? Guess.
Excuse me, Dan, but for which project are you talking
Oh,
about?
well,
Because
it's for ShipExtend, but it could be any project probably. It's for ShipExtend, yeah. So out of all the pages, so let me just give you like some options. So we
mm,
have the documentation page, we
hmm
have template pages, we have pricing page, we have features, and then we have the home page. So out of these, which one do you think caused the
pricing
most? It's a good one. It's a good one.
was
I'll
it the
tell you
second
which.
one?
I'll tell you which one it was. It's the home page. In the
Homepage.
homepage, yeah. So like this misery scale, I think it's 1 to 10. It was about an 8, like easily. And yeah, apparently, like on iOS on mobile devices, you can see that it takes 8 9 seconds for stuff to load. And I kind of and you could drill it, and I kind of saw that the problem is these videos. And I'm a fan of
Mm,
autoplay videos because they capture attention.
mm, mm.
And I'm a little bit torn now because I think I need to not autoplay them, and then essentially they don't get loaded, and then when people press play, then they get loaded. Now, do you have videos on your homepage?
No, no,
No.
no videos, no GIFs, no videos, no nothing.
Yeah, well, you probably aced the performance then. So, yeah, I'm a bit torn. But what do you think about videos on the homepage? It could also be too much. Like someone told me on the features page, I think it was Dima from Oscar Stories. He said there's a little bit too much autoplaying. Like I'm trying to read something and this video starts autoplaying and I lose my focus.
It's too much, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
bigger fan of like just using images rather than videos. And if there is a video, there's an option for me to choose to watch it. I'm not also a big fan of autoplay, I have to tell you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, but it's a good
Because
reflection. And
it's very
you
hard
know,
to when you do the autoplay or whatever you're doing, it's very hard to know the speed of someone's attention.
yeah,
So it can be like, for me, sometimes I need to focus. I think I said something similar to Lera. She had a similar problem on her landing page. And I was like, I'm so sorry. This is so fast. I don't get anything.
yeah, yeah. So I think it is a user experience problem at the
Mm,
end, which is first of all, performance is user experience, a huge part of the user experience mix,
mm,
and then also some people have a hard time with their attention being grabbed, and there's so much of that. So
mm,
yeah, I think that's what I got from Sentry is that I need to change that, or I either
mm,
change to an image, which could also be, an image could be 1,000 words, they say.
mm. Very
Yeah, and the
true.
other option is, of course, um, to have like a manual play and some sort of background thing. So gotta test
Mm,
that out. It's terrifying though because I don't know how it's gonna affect conversion. But for sure, a lot of the people on iOS probably have closed the page. And I think I can
mm,
see that before it was loaded. They're just like, okay, I'm not gonna wait 9 seconds. That's like I think they say it needs to load in 300 milliseconds ideally, and then every 300 milliseconds after that, it's basically your conversion going down. Like there's like a scale. So
just a quick question. How long it took you to install Sentry?
it's basically one command. So you choose. It depends on the framework, but you go under docs. You choose the framework. You get one command, and then in the command, they basically ask you like, do you want this? Do you want that? Yes, no, and then they
Mm,
install it, and then it worked. And then
mm.
my question was, is this it? Because I didn't believe it. It's one of the best developer experience I've ever had with a product. So kind of
Oh.
that's my with Page UI, that's kind of my benchmark right now to get to that level where you run one
Mm,
command and it all works, and then users think this couldn't
mm.
have been it. Like there must be more to it than this. So that's very cool. Props to the Sentry team. All right, do you want to take the next update by Marie?
Yes, I love Marie, by the way.
Marie
Marie,
from Llama Life.
yes, exactly. I took a break from X because I wasn't enjoying the content anymore. But I really miss some friends on here, so I'm back. I would love to follow some new folks. If you love building stuff, showing your progress, and supporting other indie makers, please comment below so I can follow you. Mary is such an inspiration, I have to tell you, at least for me.
Yeah,
I love what she's doing. I love how she's doing it. Um, she's just brilliant. I don't know. I really connected with what she built and how she's approaching stuff. And I've listened to her also in one show, I think. So cannot remember with who she was talking, but she was just like, oh, brilliant.
yeah, Bootster FM, I think.
It
Bootster,
was it, yeah, probably something. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She's brilliant. Um, she has like the follow-up comment, which I find very interesting, where she says, "I'm looking for folks that post about their progress in building their business and less engagement-based sales stuff. Here's how I did
Mm,
X, and you
mm,
can do it posts." So, and then she says, "Being along for the ride and seeing other people's journey is what I love, and helping each other out
yes.
where we can." And I so agree with this, and I think we get caught up in these updates and engagement and views and
Mm,
likes and so on that we end up posting this. Like we're also guilty of it sometimes. I
mm.
think personally I try not to do it a lot. Like it's just it feels very difficult for me to do that.
Then we did
Um,
it twice. It's okay.
yeah, yeah. I cannot say that I haven't done it, and I cannot say that once you do it, you're kind of craving the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The last time Dan and I did it, we had to leave X for 2 days.
Yeah, that's how it was. So we made the update and then we literally said, let's not check it because I think we were literally shaking. Like, it was like, this is crossing a line. We
Hmm.
cannot post this. And we said, let's take a break. Let's not check anything and check in the next day.
Yeah.
And yeah, what happened the next day? Can you remember?
Well, Dan decided to walk to the office, and then he decided to stop by the coffee shop, and then he decided to stop by, I don't know, find the key to open. It was like I was sitting in my office and just waiting for him to arrive. And it was so long, like the longest 30 minutes of waiting someone. And then we went in and saw the reactions and we're like,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
happened?
I enjoyed it. And to be honest, that was I didn't take a break since then from it. Like I've been pretty much writing every day. Um, it's back to what you said. That I think X and Twitter is also part of us being 24/7 connected to work and to what we do. Don't you
Mm,
think?
yeah. And I love that. I don't know why, but I don't have as many these you know paid sales stuff on my timeline. Um, I have managed to cleanse my Twitter, I guess, and X. And when I do see it, I always stumble and I try to find in the comments something funny at least. But I fully agree with Mary. I think that this is a great space for us, and it's the space to be motivated and inspired and actually make friends. And I love that she also mentioned that she wants to follow the journey. We are doing the show because we want to follow the journey of people building their products, but in the same time, she wants to help other people and
Yeah,
ask for help. And I think that's like the brilliant part of being in a community.
yeah.
Um,
So there's always change that
mm,
will happen whether you like it or not. And I
yeah.
think in the past year or so, the change was in the algorithm itself and not necessarily in how we perceive this, or at least the ones that we were already doing it. I think we
Mm,
all think the same way. We used to
mm,
help each other, we used to be close, and we used to give feedback, and we used to have like this support group. Now, because the algorithm is not really promoting that, it's promoting the sales engagement based stuff. Even if people do it, you don't see it because it's
you
not
don't
being
see it,
pushed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
why you need to collect these people somewhere outside of X as well.
yeah, I think that's why we have the Morning Maker Show
Yeah.
community on Discord. It's
Yeah.
because you cannot. The only way to keep doing that is to have a list of people where you check them
Mm,
manually. Right?
exactly.
Your feed doesn't show you this type of stuff anymore, and it's very sad. And I think we're because of that, this magic of building in public and finding your people. You know, when we joined, it felt like we were entering a home where like-minded people did the same thing and we all wanted to help each other and we all
Mm,
wanted to
mm,
succeed in the same way.
Yeah.
and it's very hard to enter, I think, right now, from my perspective at least.
I fully agree with you. And you mentioned the list, and we have this Discord where we have Morning Maker Show members, but and you know them, I know them very well, and they tend to slip through my timeline as well. And I have it in our Notion Morning Maker Show, each member and their links, just to be able to follow what they are doing and sharing. Otherwise, it's lost.
Yeah, it's a good approach. It's a good approach. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just just keep your close people, and yeah,
Yeah,
I love the thought.
don't forget that there's others in the community that are, going through the same thing,
Yeah,
and they'll there it's such a nice community, and people are so friendly always.
it's so
So,
friendly. And I think we built this, I read, or I tend to read a lot from few people, that they are annoyed that people share success. But if you only concentrate on these type of people, you will miss amazing people that are going through journey and actually sharing what is happening and how they are building something. And even the first sales, I mean, that's all part of the journey.
yeah,
So I think there is a very honest and transparent um,
yeah.
approach in this community, and I love that. I don't think that things are brilliant all the time, and they are not. And when they are, you should be able to share and be proud of them, but in the same time you should also be proud on your downs and ups and whatever.
Yeah, we need both. I mean, that's always what
Yeah.
I said, that having people that have reached success is very important to bring new people and to motivate them to start on
Mm.
something and to ship something.
Mm.
But if it's just that, everyone's going to think, well, I'm going to work for a couple months on this thing, and then I'm going to quit my job and it's going to be amazing. And it's so hard to get to that point, and it depends on so many things that you cannot control, that you
Mm.
have to read the other side as well sometimes and see, people that maybe even like us, that work so hard, and when they shouldn't, when they should be with friends perhaps, or
Mm.
people that have tried product after product for years and years. Like, we go back to Mark Liu, I think for 3 years in a row, he tried products that, made a little bit of money, but
Mm.
it wasn't to this degree of success. Like, you couldn't say, yeah, he's good. He doesn't right now. You could probably say he doesn't even need to work anymore. Like, he's good.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
for 3 years, it wasn't like this. So when you come in and you
exactly.
see, oh, I made this product and it's making $100,000 a month, you need to take in the entire context,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Exactly. And also these big creators, when we are talking about Mark, unfortunately, and I'm very sad about that actually, um, they I mean, I don't want to say that they need to, in each post when they are talking about these numbers, mention that, hey, for the past 3 years, or it wasn't like that, and etc. But their posts, especially with numbers, go crazy, and many people see them, and there needs to be like just a slim of hey, this was not like a over a night success. It was something I have invested time and money and effort, and
Yeah,
you know so yes.
agree, agree. All right, want to take the next update?
Yes, and I have a story about this person as well. After the update, I'll tell you. This one is coming from Danny Postma. In 2020, I started Headline by selling 60,000 in lifetime deals. They they aren't long-term viable, but give you two massive upsides: capital and a feedback-hungry customer base. If you are in need of money but don't want to go to venture road, give lifetime deals a try. Here we come back to studio.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. The Screen Studio started the same
Yeah.
way, and then according to Danny, it's not viable, which I kind of thought of Screen Studio
Mm,
initially. Well, in the meantime, they've doubled the price, so maybe now it is viable.
mm.
Yeah, lifetime deals are very scary to do because as a maker, you think I will have to, no matter what, support these people and make sure
It's a
that the software
lifetime
works.
deal, baby. We are all the way until the end.
Yeah, exactly. Like what is lifetime? Is it 50 years? Is it, you
Yeah.
know? And what happens if you all of a sudden realize this is not gonna work? If you need to close the project down, there's you tend to overthink when you do a lifetime deal.
And I
But
would I have a question. Maybe it's a stupid question. I don't know. Maybe Matt is listening to this and he's the lawyer in the indie making community.
yeah,
But um, when we are talking about lifetime deal, and you just mentioned what happens when you close the project, even if you have in a policy that there is a no refund option, you are giving a lifetime deal.
yeah.
Like, what's the legal situation around that?
Well, I guess you should have this thing specified somewhere in your terms or whatever, and there could be a different interpretation of what a lifetime deal is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's also not something I'd recommend. If you start a project, you put it out there and you want to validate it, you shouldn't spend, a week talking to a lawyer and putting down the correct whatever terms and conditions for a
Mm.
lifetime deal, right? That's kind of no one's gonna buy it anyway. Why why should you do it? Right? Or there's a pretty big chance that no one's gonna buy it anyway. So yeah, I think it's maybe similar to the Peter Levels thing where you try something out, you put it out there, you see if it works, good idea or not. And then if you see it does work, then you kind of iron these things out along the way,
Mm.
even though it's
Mm.
scary. Like I guess technically can get sued by someone, by a user. That
Yeah, I mean, how do you define a lifetime deal? Even if you pay 10 euros or $10, whatever, I am having you for a lifetime.
yeah,
It's a wedding here celebration. Let's pop a bottle, you know.
yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
No divorce, baby.
Yeah, but that's the other thing is you can start by it, then as Danny says, you get the capital, and then at some point you can switch all new users to a subscription, for example,
Mm,
and that's not a problem as long as you don't force the existing people that got a lifetime deal to also pay a subscription now, which is, you know, I doubt that's gonna go very well.
questionable, yeah.
Yeah, questionable. But all the new users, they're not gonna know there was a lifetime deal, or they don't have the option, so it's all fine. And it
Yeah.
might be an alternative to getting investment. That's back to John's tweet, where
Mm,
instead of getting the capital and selling a part of the company, you can have lifetime deals and get the capital that way. If you have a big enough audience to, he made
mm.
$60,000. It's not really easy to do if it's your first product. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I can take the next update.
Yes.
How long have we been going, Sandra?
1 hour and 18 minutes and 46 seconds.
And this episode is 6 hours, or what did you say?
I said around 6-ish hours.
6 hours. Okay. Well,
6 hours
buckle
and
up,
17 minutes.
folks. Thank you for sticking with us, Ili and Alex and Yusuf. Seeing a few faces that's been they've been here from the start. I would probably have walked out a long time ago.
Maybe they are
Uh,
sleeping. You
yeah,
know, when you turn something on before you go to sleep, and you just it
yeah.
just keeps going.
That is my goal, Sandra. So I want us to be that. I want us to be the podcast. Where, by the way, for those that are new in the space, we also publish this as a podcast. We clean up, we edit it, and we put it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I want people to put this on before they fall asleep. And you just let it run, and then in the morning, because we have 42 freaking episodes by now, it's still gonna be us playing. So they also wake up with us talking about
and
some
and all
sort
the
of
new
product.
projects, like you could dream new projects, you could figure the things out in the dream, what you're missing, what you
Oh
need.
yeah, absolutely,
It's like
absolutely. Like
you wake
you
up
could
like
wake up with a
all.
brand new product idea. Yeah,
Okay, this could be our marketing strategy actually.
I think so. Yeah, but
Solve your
we
problems
need
even in a dream.
yeah, we should put that on the website. All right, next update by Tian Nguyen. He says, three sales in less than 24 hours is a dream come true to me. I started my indie hacker journey 2 months ago. That's crazy. And
Yeah,
made Get Bentofy a month ago. Shipping fast has proved its possibility of earning fast. Just F star can ship your product now. Did I do that right?
excellent
Um,
job.
Excellent. Get Bentofy is a product that will 10x your engagement on socials. Promote your SaaS with our bento grids. Grab eyeballs by showcasing your progress, milestones, and wins. I'm not
I
sure
have
what it is. Let me go.
Me
I go
neither, but
deeper. Okay,
it sounds good.
I go deeper. So how it works, you essentially have a grid with achievements, like number of signups, how many reviews you have, and so on, and you
Ah,
can customize it and do colors and a lot of customization. And it is a lifetime deal, Sandra, of $19. Pay once,
so
own it forever.
I love it. I love it. Yes. But
Do
wait, I
you
have
do
a
you love
question.
how
Yeah.
all of the topics kind of merge into each other and
No,
it's great.
this is brilliant. But wait a minute. Go up on the beginning of the homepage. So we have a first line saying, promote your wins. Wins, yeah. So it's the numbers.
It's the yeah, exactly. It's
It's
milestones,
yeah.
achievements, yeah, whatever you have, followers, money, whatever you wanna you're proud of, I suppose.
Should we test this? Should we do it?
Yeah, yeah,
Do
we
you
should
want to
test
do
it.
it?
I mean, it goes back to like everything that we talked. It's so
Yeah.
cohesive. I love it.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the fact that I'm not really comfortable sharing these things that often. Like every now and then I would. I shared a lot about Page UI getting a lot of stars on GitHub because
Mm,
it was kind of a big deal. So of course I do it sometimes.
mm.
Um, I rarely do money updates unless it's like a really big one. You probably are very similar, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't tend to share the.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
wish.
so
I don't know
I'd
why
try
though.
it though. I'd try it. It looks cool.
Why do we have problem with sharing it?
It's a good question. I don't think that's my brand so far. Like I haven't
Mm,
sat down and decided, this is how I am. But I do more building things. So what Marie said, right?
mm,
Here's
mm,
my journey, and here's what I've built today. Here's what I launched, and here's a problem that I had, and here's a solution. Or this thing was very cool. I used it like the Sentry thing, right? I used
yeah.
this and
Yeah.
it helped me a lot. And then here's this other technical thing that you might want to try out. Like
Mm,
that's kind of my bubble, and maybe a joke every now and then.
mm.
And everything outside that bubble just doesn't feel
Yeah.
natural to me, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get you, and I totally understand that. I'm quite similar in that way. I mean, with my own topics and my own way of approaching Twitter, but
But you have a lot more
I
personal updates, that's for sure. Like you do travel
yeah.
updates and you had this very nice series in Italy.
That one is good. I come back to that one quite often. I have to tell you, that was fun period of. Oh, I
Yeah.
hate Italy. I'm just joking, Italians. I love it.
Yeah. So, but if you were to post these updates where you talk, like, you have so much talk about it, you have thousands of users, you have, all of the stuff's going around. Clue is freaking amazing. Do
That's
you
all
not do
cool,
it?
but
Yeah.
I think I'm not doing that or sharing that because I'm quite aware of the things that we are struggling with, you know? So, like, even having 1,000 users or, like, I don't know, paying blah, 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 there's things that you are struggling on daily basis. And I feel like I mean, I celebrate them and love them, but not in the sense of like, it's really good because what I see with, or how I feel when I see, I don't know, someone sharing their revenue or MRR or whatever type of the numbers they share, I feel like um, everything is perfect, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel that with my own projects. I feel like there's things to improve, there's things that I need to do, there's like multiple different problems. And if I tend to share these like numbers, they don't actually show the real picture of the situation. If I don't know, something like that. Like
Yeah.
even with the morning maker show, we could probably share like, I don't know, our MRR and things like that, but it's just like, I don't know, it's a little bit, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
like, it's weird, I guess. This is the money invested for something and we are doing the work and it's like we need to do this and that and blah blah blah. It's not some kind of achievement in my head, at least.
Well, it is a huge achievement that we've made the show sustainable somehow, so we
Yeah.
can actually spend the time recording. But I agree with you that it feels weird to do it just because I don't have another good reason. I'm proud of it, but I don't have a reason to do it for other people to see. Why would this be good for other people? And I think
Mm,
maybe that's the wrong approach because some people see this and they get motivated. And then,
yes.
of course, some other people that's been struggling would see it and think this is demotivating.
Yeah.
So, and then the selfish thing to do, in my opinion, would be to say, well, that's their problem, which is probably true, because we all need to deal with being demotivated and have our support group and so on,
Mm.
and they could just scroll away and that's it. But maybe it doesn't feel right because somehow I want this to be, as you say, perfect before I do it. I want it to be, and that's really not. It's not a good build in public way. Like you should probably share everything. So I think we should do better at that. Is my conclusion.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone listening to this, we are figuring the things out as well.
Of course.
Like every update we read, I tend to learn something, or like I tend to understand this person and what they are talking about and make sense in my own head as well. I think, okay, I'm pulling a Greg into the story, and it was really funny and interesting for me how he's writing, because has a great posts or blogs or whatever, and he's talking or writing about the problem that I'm going through, but in a totally different way, where or not way, but approach. He's explaining something I'm going through without even me realizing that. What I'm trying to say is that we are all just humans in the process of learning and figuring out the things. And sometimes I can see a lot of drama happening, or people questioning other people's choices or what they are sharing, and etc. But we should all remember that in what every single person in this community is working super hard, and no one can take that from them.
Yeah.
And that's something that we all share, and we have like sacrifice. I mean, when I say sacrifice, I don't mean in that way, but I've realized that in the sense of like friends and family and just going outside and we do tend to spend a lot of times working, and I totally respect however you want to share your updates, good, bad, you know, um,
Yeah,
because we work as crazy people.
completely agree. Yeah, yeah. You should be fine to celebrate if you want to celebrate.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to the next one by Gabriel, if you want to be so kind to read the update.
Absolutely. We have Gabriel with us today asking, how do you do email automations for your app? I want to send an I I want to send an automated email to user if they don't upgrade within 14 days. Any easy email automation platforms out there? Oh, my favorite question ever. Dear Gabriel, I have tried them all. Dear Gabriel, I have paid bunch of money to try them all. Dear Gabriel, use email octopus. I am
Well,
so annoyed by these email automation providers. I don't like MailChimp is these guys.
your arch
I hope
enemy.
it's been a struggle for the past year with them. Use email
Yeah.
octopus, Gabriel. They are brilliant. You can automate whatever you want. You can trigger. You can do everything. It's an project building a community. Wonderful people. You can reach out to them if you need something.
Isn't it
Super
isn't
good.
it actually a bootstrapped
It's a
project?
bootstrapped. It's a bootstrapped. Yes, it's
Yeah.
bootstrapped.
I love that. Like I always, if I have a choice between picking, indie bootstrap project or like a big corporation, something, I always go for the bootstrap one because why not? They will probably
Absolutely.
have someone that you can reach out to if there's a problem, and typically they'll be more receptive to feedback and so on. I had some problems with big corporations, and you just can't get a hold of someone, or you get in this phone call thing,
In the
and
loop.
there's basically half an hour of waiting time, and then once you get there the people cannot solve your problem and you need to be sent to somewhere else and so on, and they hate that. That
Mm.
with a bootstrap project you usually get people that care about the product and maybe even work on it, which is crazy. So you have support people. Let's take you, right?
Mm.
You do support but you'd also do product work, so you can actually say, hey, people told me this is very bad, let's change the product and fix this. This is not good for our users, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is nothing more sweeter to me than ability to just reach out to maker and be like, what is this? Or how do I use this? Or this doesn't work. And you know what's the funniest thing? They fix it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. That happened many times.
Yeah,
It happened with PostHog as well, which is
yeah.
maybe some. It's not a small company anymore, but I reached out with a problem, and I didn't even ask for a fix. Like I just said, this could be nice, and then literally hours later, that was fixed. And I think that's just incredible when it happens. So, how can you not love one of those companies? But
So,
yeah, I use
Gabriel, we have a solution for you. Don't worry.
yeah. I use Email Octopus for all my newsletter stuff as well
Mm,
because they
mm,
have an API. I wanted to do a tweet on this one day, and it's very easy to hook up to an input. They're so like people overcomplicate this newsletter or wait time, and there's huge products around it, and then you have the mails in one system, and then you wanna send the automation from another system, and it's all like
mm, mm.
so complicated and expensive too. And I have to be honest, I haven't paid a dime to email octopus. Like I'm completely freeloading it, and it's perfect for newsletter and these kind of small wait lists or whatever you do. I think maybe wait lists. Let's not talk about if it's a good idea to do them or not. But you don't need like a complicated SaaS to get that going. I'll write a tweet on this
No,
about
no,
this.
no.
I
And
promise.
email octopus has a great automation system as well. So it's like what Gabriel is asking, they can definitely support that. So
Yeah. Okay, do you want to take the next update?
yes, rares. These are some indicators that I use when pre-validating my idea. I usually do a quick research for each of them and set a score. Based on total app result score, I see if it's worth starting the app or not.
So the items he scores are resources, defendability, market size, market demand, and product. And it seems quite a complex. Wait, is this an app? Wow, this is an actual app. Wait a second, I completely missed this. I thought it's his scoring system. Oh, so you maybe go through this app, it asks you, it's like a questionnaire type thing, and at the end you get some sort of grade, and then you decide how much you should spend on an idea or not. Something like that. This is freaking brilliant, huh?
I love it. Ship fast, fail fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this. So yeah, handy little tool there. Idea Spark. I'm
Amazing.
gonna get this and try it out. Yeah, we had a lot of discussion about validating, and I think it's
Mm.
one thing with validating for me is no matter how much of this you do, the only way to truly validate something is to have a person put their credit card and pay you something. So, on paper, you'll have people say, "Oh yeah, this is a good idea," and this looks good, or I can see this being a product. That's one thing, but having them to actually pay you to put money into it is a completely different story.
Yes, and I just want to say something before we are off this topic. But this week, I had a call with Scott plus plus or something.
Yes,
Scott plus
something.
plus. It's very interesting, and he has also a tool to. It's called validatemysas.com, and I really dig the vibe. Then, so why? So it works. You actually put in the search, keywords for what you're building, and then these validate my SaaS brings up all the competitors. So
Ooh.
yes, and also not only like they bring up the competitors, but they also pull the data from Product Hunt, when did they launch, on which numbers, which place they were, if they are on Trustpilot, if they are on, I don't know, if they are funded or whatever. So they built kind of like, or bring to you a lot of competitors, so you can actually see what's already on the market, and then you can see also reviews from people and what they are saying.
Oh, that's so
So
good.
I know, it's really cool. I told Scott I'm a little bit late, but I'm gonna do it for Clue because it's really interesting. Even though I know already my competitors, but I want to
Yeah,
see like
exactly. But why not use this also later to kind of get a better overview?
exactly.
Yeah.
And because this market, which we are at least with Clue, is quite a hot market at the moment. The search, the AI, how to pull data information, blah blah blah, and new competitors kind of pop out all the time. So having a tool that can actually pull this,
Oh, but what
you
about the
know,
other way around? Um, if you put the keywords in, and you can do this at some point in time, and then it keeps kind of gathering information on the
mm,
competitors, and then once a new competitor pops up, you get
yeah.
an email, and you're like, "Oh,
Oh, that's
let's
a good
let's see
point.
what they're up
This is a
to."
really good feedback for Scott, actually.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, I'd love that because sometimes you find these out, and it's a little bit late, and it takes you by surprise completely.
Yeah. Usually, I don't know how you find your competitors, but usually I found my competitors on Product Hunt. But that
Um,
requires a lot of time, and it's not a safe option because you don't hang out on Product Hunt every day and scan every single
sure,
product.
sure.
So just having ability to someone to push new things, or even if you're at the beginning to see what's already on the market, but in the same time for already existing solutions to
Yeah.
kind of like keep you up to date with the new things on the market.
I mean, a lot of times the way I find the competitors is people telling me, "Hey, this thing kind of looks like a competitor," or like, "Are they doing the
Mm,
same thing?"
mm.
But yeah, product hunt is a good idea. Everyone's gonna put their stuff on product hunt if it's like especially for your, uh, let's say, is it a category? I don't know if it's a category, but you're doing AI stuff, right? So
Yeah. Uh,
all the AI stuff is on product hunt. There's no question.
yeah.
It's gonna be there, so it's a good way. Does validate my SaaS also scan product hunt?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. They scan a product hunt and then they show it to you like which position the product was. You can see the reviews. It's like quite cool,
yeah,
quite cool project.
yeah. I'll for sure check it out. Really awesome.
Yeah.
So I think I'll put my product there and see what's going on. I have no idea where I'll put
I
some
need
of
to
the
do it for
products.
Clue. I need to
Wait
do
a
it for Clue.
second. What's the pricing? So $19 per report. I mean, that's nothing. It's crazy. I think Scott, you should make this like
I
free
told
time.
him.
Yeah, you told him. Yeah.
I told him.
It's to imagine the value proposition. Let me go through his copy. So validate before you build, not after you ship. Start building with confidence. So I think there's two there's two approaches to this. One thing that I do is maybe already have like a second, either like a second navigation or second solution, which is to keep track of this, right? It's not just before, but it's also after you've built. I think this is very valuable, and you could probably even spin that into like a business. You could niche off into that if you want, but it's probably too early to think about it. And I would make the copies so essentially I realize how much it takes to go through all of these products on product hunt to filter out, to
Mhm,
gather the
mhm.
data. How many hours does that take? Even if it takes 1 hour,
Oh, then it takes much more
$19.
than 1 hour.
Yeah, it takes probably 3 days, right?
Oh,
So how much are
oh
you
yeah,
willing
for sure.
to pay for 3 days of work? And I think this is like something that indie hackers really fail at because they think, well, I'll just use my time and then it's free. But imagine using those 3 days doing marketing instead, right?
Exactly.
And then just paying $19 for this. Like it's a no-brainer in my opinion. So and it's too cheap.
It's
Triple
too
it.
cheap. I told him already. It's like, come on, we need to
And
get
that's
this
coming
up.
from you, which is the
I
cheapest.
know. Imagine. It's
I'm
very
not even.
true, people. It's very true.
Yeah, the
But
level of cheapness.
I because I know how much time it takes into these things, and I know how big of a deal this is to understand your competitors and what they are lacking and where you can improve. I mean, we all the time talk about niching out the products, finding a solution or finding a problem that is annoying but still simple, and we have billions of products out there. You can build a solution or a product with already existing solutions. You just find the pain of their customers, you know.
Yeah,
So, but yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Let's take the next update. Are you still in this? How's your gasoline on the tank, Sandra?
Dan, I'm so ready. I'm so relaxed. I've been in nature. I have nothing to do.
So you were
We're gonna
serious with
stay.
the 6 hours. Okay. Well, I've been
No, no.
on a run before. So essentially, I'm a little bit hot and things are a little bit sticky, as I say. And you know what the thing is? I need to run back as well because I don't like. There's no option. Like I can walk, sure, but it's gonna take me a long time. So I'm
No,
saving some energy for that. But I can do some more updates. I can do some more updates.
it,
Want to take this
at
one?
this point,
Yeah.
from our lovely Lera updates,
Yeah.
we made our first studio subscription sale. Clipwing is number one of the day, 520 upvotes. It's just incredible. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lara. This is freaking amazing.
Lera is absolutely brilliant. I just want to quickly explain because I've talked with Lera also this week, and they have Clipwing, which is a product, and then they have a studio, which they're selling under the same subscription model as well, which I love. My heart approves this. But the studio is different. Studio is something that we are using at the moment, where we send all the videos to Lera, and then she does the brilliant job with editing and cleaning the things that we make mistakes all the time. And then, just making amazing thumbnails and amazing intros. And so I also told her that her pricing needs to go double that.
So what's wait a second. So first Clipwing costs $30 a month, and then Studio costs $1,000 a month. So
And she listened to me.
oh, okay, it is it did go up, but this is like so you get what professional video content team, full length podcast editing, free custom clips per video. Also like shorts basically, custom
Mm,
thumbnails and 4-day turnaround. Yeah, so it's essentially like a productized agency, but specifically
yes.
for video. So if you want to go into
Yes.
YouTube and stuff like that, then this is awesome. And then Clipwing itself, it's a SaaS that helps you cut your videos essentially. So you throw your raw video, and you work with text to essentially make smaller cuts that you can share on TikTok
Mm,
or
mm,
Instagram or Shorts and so on. So super cool little app, well deserved. They've been working for this for a very working at on this, not for this, for a very long time. I think Lara's, you know, back maybe 9 months ago, 10 months ago, like she started to build in public, and
mm,
I loved her style from the beginning. She's very creative. She's very visual. She uses a lot of video to express well herself and updates and so on. So I'm
mm.
huge fan, and well deserved to get number one on Product Hunt. This is awesome. I really I really wish her all the best, but I think she doesn't need it. Like she's doing so well. She doesn't need my
Actually,
yeah.
I wanted to say something. I had a conversation with her where she said to me that she does a lot. Not, I mean, she didn't say I told her. She does a lot of things for free. And when we went into the conversation on why she's doing this, because it's very annoying for me personally, when we went into conversation why she's doing that, she said to me that she feels like she needs to prove something, and I that was shocking for me, and I was like, please stop, like you already proved yourself that you are brilliant in what you're doing. You are extremely creative. You understand the community. You understand why people want to go on YouTube. You know how to do that. There is no need to um, prove anything to anyone anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, completely. But isn't this the same that we talked that no matter how much you do, you still have this at the back of your head that it's not ready, it's not good enough, it's not, all these questions that pop up. And the more you delay, and I think one of the things that I would have wanted Lara to do is to launch this sooner. I think she built this for a very long time, and it did get to an incredible state. Like it's too polished, if you want. It's too good.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
could have launched maybe 3 months ago or 4 months ago, and it would have still been a successful launch.
Mm,
But if you have this fear, I also used to, just a few years ago, I used to have this crippling fear of launching something because people would think, it's not ready, and they will tell you, well, I can build this in a weekend, and that's gonna happen anyway. To be honest, like no matter what you do, if if you go on
Yeah.
Reddit, they're gonna tell you I can build this in a weekend and open source. Uh,
Yeah, in a day. In a
in a
day.
day, yeah, yeah. So you kind of I got over that completely, but on launch day, I still feel it, of course, but I'm not afraid of saying 3 weeks I work on this thing, and at the end of 3 weeks I launch something, and then of course you can see, well, it's not really there, but that's perfect because when you start to see that it's not there, you start cutting things, and this is
Mm,
exactly what happened when I launched Page UI. I cut some things and I realized there's no way I can make it. Then I cut more things, and then it boiled down to the essence. So I actually ended up not wasting time on things that
mm,
would have made it better for sure, but they were not required to launch,
mm.
essentially. Yeah. So do you
Yeah.
wish? Do you wish
Then
you
I
would have?
just, uh,
Yeah. Go ahead.
sorry, please continue.
Do you wish?
No, I wanted to make a joke, but it seems like.
Okay, please do. The joke is more important than what I was about to say.
But it's actually quite good that you stopped me. I don't think it's a good joke. You see?
Okay,
I
never
thought
mind.
before, that's my problem sometimes. Sometimes I say things before actually thinking. And then when I say them, then I want, like, I can see the words coming outside of my mouth. And I wish if I was just able to take them back and stop them,
Yeah,
And you are
but isn't
my,
that that's the charm of it, Sandra? I really
okay.
think so. You just you just say it and then we deal with it later. So far so good.
With
We spoke.
Lera and her studio option.
So I think later on in the product, this is more difficult because one thing is to launch and to set a deadline, and the other thing is to have a big feature within the product and do the same because the product's out, you have users. How do you stop yourself from spending 3 months on a feature that you of course, when you build it, you better have some users asking for it and understanding why and who they are and making sure they're your target group, right? Let's say that's solved. But how do you stop yourself from doing 3 months of work and doing the core part of it that will still get people satisfied? It might have some rough edges, but it's out there and you can get feedback and you can correct the rough edges. You know what I mean? Do you have this problem?
But like if we are building something and you have a core feature in it, you push it, you launch it, you get the feedback, you fix, you do whatever it's needed to polish for the users that are already using it, but you are fixing and polishing the key feature. We are talking about the key feature, correct?
Yes. Yeah, but
I
well,
wouldn't
yes, key feature, yes.
key feature. So you also need to think about how and how do you define a right user, the paying one, the active one, and from where the feedback is coming from. So, and what type of the feature we are talking? Are we talking about like polishing the centerpiece of the feature, or we are talking about introducing something? Because I am super against of introducing something that is not validated, needed, or paid for.
Hmm.
And I
But how
think,
do you, yeah, but how do you deal with that when you have, so you have a core part that have dreamt up this product clue, right?
yeah,
You had a good idea
mm,
and you built some sort of MVP and you went
yeah,
with the product and and tried to market it and it worked, and then it kind of turned out that it was a good idea, right? I hope
no,
it was a bad
no,
idea.
no, no, it was a good idea, but before going to marketing part or launching the product or anything, the initial MVP we had with Clue, we sold it. So we went and talked with people and companies and tried to sell it, and then we sold it, tested with them, and then started building on top of that.
So
The
actually,
launch
you
happened.
didn't build anything. You just sold the idea. Is that right?
No, no, no. We had MVP, but we built the MVP in like 2 weeks or something. It was
Okay,
it was
okay. So like
it was just
really minimal.
integration. Very,
Yeah.
very minimum. The launch of Clue happened like 4 or 5 months after that.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Man, that's
And
pretty
and
amazing.
no,
Yeah.
and there was multiple mistakes. Like even during that process, like if I would have to do these things over again, I would um, kick out the things, multiple things we had in the initial MVP.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because
So, but back to that. You you have the product, and I think this was kind of brilliant, but there's still some sort of idea that made it unique that you can sell even though you didn't build it. You could sell this thing
you can.
by talking about it pretty much because you didn't have that much to show for it yet. And why later in the stage of development, why do you say, well, right now we cannot have these brilliant ideas that we have no validation for? We just came up with it and we think it's a good idea and we think is going to, create a mode for us or, whatever. We just want ideas to come from users. Don't you
Mm.
think that that will, prevent some good ideas from happening, from being
Oh,
built?
absolutely. Absolutely. Like you really need to find the right balance in between what you wish, what you can do, what are users saying. Sometimes also you need to think that users don't know what they need as well. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. That's where I'm going because
yeah,
a lot of the times you can ask users, but they just can't imagine what you can
exactly.
do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you really have to find the right balance on how you're going to position or how you're going to approach these new features. What I tend to do is, because again, I'm a quite cheap person, I tend to calculate the cost, how much that will cost us,
Yeah.
how much we can get in return, and how can we validate this idea.
Yeah.
Because, at this point, Clue is like a startup. We've been, we have VC money,
Yeah.
we have costs, we have people now working, you
Yeah.
have
Lots of
someone's life,
employees. How big is the team now?
so there's 7 of us.
Wow. Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you. So
So
like
there's responsibility now.
there are certain responsibilities. So each feature, if we are building something for the next, I don't know, 2 months, how much money is that?
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Of
so
course.
if you can validate something fast, build something fast, implement with few users, test it with them, see if it works, and then push the efforts into that direction.
Yeah.
But if you want to reach that point, everything before that core feature, the paying users, the daily active users, they need to be present in order to kind of push for the next stage, for the next thing.
Yeah, yeah. You need to involve the users early. Yeah, but that doesn't change. It's the same when you launch. So that's why I told regarding the Clipwing launch that you do it early because you cannot involve the users if it's not already launched. But I mean, it
Yeah,
was launched. It wasn't just officially launched. But
yeah.
I think Lara did have some users on Clipwing, and
Oh,
they were
I think
probably
she had around 1,400 users or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's what I mean. If you have that many users, it means you could have launched
Oh,
long time
definitely.
ago because they were probably already satisfied with what the product could do or they
Yeah.
actually provided valuable feedback and you could
Yeah.
improve it, so you want to accelerate that process if you can. I mean, that's what I found.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next update.
Next update. Sharvek. I'm excited to share my new product, Super Reels. Easily turn your blog post into Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts so you can grow with video content without spending hours making it. Beta launching in 2 days. Here is a quick demo. Okay, let's see. So we have. Oh,
It's,
this went viral.
it went pretty viral, yeah. So
Yeah.
you put a link to the blog page, which is already super cool, like you don't need to work with text.
Yes.
You
Yes.
choose a voice and then immediately it grabs the content, and then it generates. I think what it is AI generated image. So maybe
Mm.
like each blog post gets one, and then you have captions going on the screen, and then finally the images seem to change. So it's kind of, well, video is, no, he didn't say video. He said it creates shorts, so I guess that qualifies as a short, but it's more like a slideshow with captions, which you get out. I have no idea if this is gonna work well on Instagram or YouTube. It might just work very well. What do you think?
I think I mean, maybe I'm just that person that likes to watch this, but the only worry I have is how long the blog post, how good the summarization of he's using whatever AI he's using, how good the
Yeah,
summarization is, and how well
sure,
it can get to the point of the blog post.
sure. So this is the result of this is a 40-second video, which is quite quite long, and I think for a
Mm.
short, like shorts are, well, short, but that's probably something you can easily tweak on the AI
Yeah.
side. Yeah, I have this concern a lot because if you don't tweak the prompt, it's going to be obviously AI generated, if you know what I mean,
Mm.
and maybe this is like something that he put effort into it. I'm really struggling getting AI to not sound like AI these days. And I try to use it. This is the best use case to summarize stuff. And then when I get a summary, for the Morning Maker Show
Mm.
episode, we have the transcript. And I ask it for a
Mm.
summary, and it's just so clearly written by AI. And I've tried to tweak that prompt for months, and I keep changing it. And I'm not really satisfied with what I get. And maybe that's just GPT-4 degrading a little bit. Like I've seen this
Mm.
also with some other stuff, like programming questions. People say it's kind of bad right now, and it used to be very
Mm.
good. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but
Yeah,
super cool idea. I think it's worth exploring. Um, get people to pay for it. That's what I'd say. If
absolutely.
people pay for this, we tried a lot of shortcuts. We also were on YouTube and on TikTok. I have no idea what's going on TikTok. That's completely you. So if you posted a photo or some sort of video where I look like a crab or something like that. I don't know. Did you do that?
Of course not. Maybe I should. Yeah, stay off
Okay,
the TikTok.
I'm not gonna check it. But you've tried all sorts of shortcuts with this, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
found
they,
few good ones. I found actually few good ones that are able to. So my kind of like workflow is to put the whole episodes in, and then I get the shortcuts, and they are quite good ones. Um,
do
but
they, but they take video, right? They don't take the audio. So
better, of
we
course.
already have the video. That's the difference.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So it's a different type of product. What I really like about Sarvek, if that's correct, is that he's starting with this, and it's a pretty good spot to start on
Hmm.
because he's doing slideshows and transcripts for now. But maybe in 3 months, he has this app, and Sora is going to come out with an API, and then all of a sudden, he can generate full videos, and he has
Yeah,
everything else ready to go. So
yeah.
being early with this could be a huge advantage because
That's an
then
excellent point.
he can switch to that. So I'm not really saying like I think it's a huge opportunity, but the timing, no one knows about the timing. And the one that's
Mm,
gonna get the timing right with this AI video is gonna make a lot of money out of it, in my
yeah,
opinion.
that's an excellent point. I fully agree with you.
All right. Do the
But
next topic,
I have
please.
to tell
Oh
you a
no, you
secret.
haven't. Yeah. Okay, okay. Can I please hear your secret? I'm really
Yes.
interested.
At this point, we are 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 29 seconds in Morning Maker Show on Sunday.
And what's that supposed to mean?
That means we have 4 more hours to go.
I've been really, I've been really doing well. I'm getting
No,
a
no, I'm
kind of
just joking. I
hungry.
want to I'm just joking. I want to tell you that let's read one more update.
You know what
Um
I think? So I think we have Alex Kovalev. I've seen him since the start. I think he fell asleep like a long time ago. Like he's probably way past the like deep sleep, you know. So, but thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, let's see. We do one more update, and then let's see how we feel. I
yeah,
think I think 2 hours is already pretty decent, don't you think? Like
I
people
think
missed us,
so
but I
too.
don't think they missed us that much. Don't you think?
No, they missed us.
Okay, they did. Okay, we keep
Yeah.
going.
Yahaya. Oh, this was bad. Do you want to try?
No, you
Okay.
said it perfectly. No, it's fantastic.
Okay. We finally rebranded our agency site. After talking to my partner, we liked a much cleaner design, simple and straightforward. So we moved from a dark to light mode design. Would love to hear
Ooh,
your thoughts about this. From the dark mode to light mode.
that's controversial. Like you don't see
That's
that.
yeah.
You don't see that at all these days. Um, it's
Why
probably
does
right.
this? It's so good. It reminds me of Apple homepage.
It's very clean design, very clean
Yeah.
design. But I think so. Let me see what this. Oh,
Oh my god, that was good.
wow. Okay, you need to check the site out. It's coditive.co. I'll just throw it in the comments right now. Um, my first impression is this is gonna cost me a pretty penny, which is good. This is, I'm gonna pay, but I'm gonna be very happy. So here's what they do: they do strategy, they do design, and then they do development. As long as it's web, we ship it, they say, which is very
Mhm.
cool. And then
Oh.
the price. Oh, are you okay? You
Oh,
got
I need water.
you got something bothering you, Sandra, that you'd like to share?
No, it's all everything is okay. I I
Okay,
am
so
I
the
I don't want
pricing
to be that
starts.
person.
The pricing starts at $797, and you get a landing page design, framework development, high converting copy.
Oh, even copy.
That's nice, actually. You don't usually get copy.
You
That's
don't
good.
usually get copies.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
1 2 weeks of delivery. That's bananas. A
I
full
like
landing page.
this.
That's bananas. And unlimited revision. So probably during those. Well, wait a second. No, this is a one-time fee. Is it a
This
one-time
is one
fee?
time fee. It seems like to me. Or
It's a
get
one-time
started.
fee.
This one, yeah, this one
Okay,
is one
okay.
time.
So that's like you buy a landing page, you shake hands. I mean, unlimited revisions for how long is my question, but anyway. Or you can get a subscription for 1,697 per month, where you can do one request at a time and unlimited requests, a Trello board, Framer, or your favorite, Sandra, Webflow development, and average 48-hour turnaround or cancel or pause anytime. To be honest, the one-time payment seems more attractive to me, and it's maybe this is some feedback to them that it is very similar to what you get on the one-time payment,
Mm.
only you need to wait 48 hours, and the other one they don't say how much you should wait. They just say unlimited revision, so I expect it to be very fast. So I maybe would tweak this copy a little bit.
Yeah, because I also don't understand like the value prop for the monthly one is a bit
Yeah, exactly.
missing.
It costs
Yeah.
double, and get you seem to get some options, but ultimately, this fact that you have 48 hours turnaround seems to not not be true in the one-time payment,
Mm.
and that's the problem. Yeah, but the website looks super clean. There's a little bit of scroll hijacking. I can't say I'm a fan of that. You probably can't feel it, but it feels,
Yeah, there is a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah. Um, it's still very cool. Productized design and development agencies have been hot for a very long time, and they're still hot. How do you differentiate yourself with these days? Is it just your portfolio, I wonder, or
Who are you selling? Did you build your brand around that? Do people know you? How many people trust you? With which people did you work with?
right? Because the people that have been very successful with this so far, we have
Mm,
what's his name, Brett from Design Joy, right? And
mm,
Nick and Alex, I guess, is the second.
mm,
Well,
yeah.
maybe I don't know. I'm not counting their revenue, but also very successful. Um, they built this because of their personal brand and the fact
Mm,
that they've roasted and shown their design skills, and they managed to prove that they can design very well. And
yeah.
then people trusted them, and then they got customers. So that's one way. And the other way is to position yourself differently and say, so here they say we make websites that convert, websites that stand out, websites that generate leads, build authority, and get eyes on your brand. And
Mm.
this does not speak to a specific group, right? Is this
No.
for startups? Is this for indie hackers? Is this for I don't know? It could be 100 different things, right?
Mm.
How would you do it differently?
I mean, essentially, you don't have to write a copy that says it's for a startup or it's for this or for it's that. It depends on their channels. So
Yeah.
if they are already using a good channel, they don't actually have to write a copy for who this is. So let's see. Maybe we can follow them more and see who they are reaching out. But what's different, or what I've noticed that is different, that they are actually doing a copy. And I think the copy is one of the biggest problems we have.
Yeah.
So it's that's something that's new that I've noticed when it comes to these agencies. But it's very interesting aspect. And when we are talking about the copy and what we can put on the copy, do we actually have to call out people that we are trying to help if the channel is correct? That's also one of the issues I have.
It's a question. Yeah, it's a question. I don't think you need to call them out, but I think a good landing page copy, from what I've seen, also from Nico Janin, actually tells you what it can solve for you, because he has this thinking that everyone's very selfish and think for themselves. So when you go on a website, the way to convert is to think, okay, the selfish user comes in and they want to solve a problem that they have. How
Mm,
do I convey this through the copy so then they are happy with the solution, right?
mm, mm,
So, but
yeah.
Sandra, I need to tell you something. We've been speaking for so much that my microphone battery ran out, so I'm on on my headphones now. I don't know if the sound quality is over, but perhaps this is a sign that
Yeah, could be.
we should maybe stop the show. And I
But
mean, I could keep going, but what do you think? Do you
the
wanna?
technology can. Lovely people, thank you for listening us for the past 2 hours. I've enjoyed this episode. We publish these episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also watch us on YouTube, TikTok, but don't tell Dan that we are also on TikTok. We do write newsletters and have great products in them, so make sure to subscribe to that as well. and have a lovely rest of a day and have a great week and build great projects and hang out with great people and go outside for a walk, watch a movie, eat good food, and listen to Morning Maker Show before you go to bed, because we are solving problems even in your dreams. Oh my.
This was so good that I almost feel bad for what I'm about to say. Sandra, one of your best. It's a work of art. What you did, I have tears in my eyes. It's so good. The only small thing that I would like to add is you forgot to say the website.
Morningmakershow.com.
Bye.
See you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.